Hello, I'm Hannah, and this is Hannah's Books. Thank you all so much for your very thoughtful comments on my last video, and also for all the emails I've received. In general, the people who commented on the video voted for an immediate start to the read-along. And in general, the people who emailed me thought a short delay would be helpful, or they decided not to read Tolstoy at all this time around. I know this week has helped me to have an easier time dissociating Tolstoy from the current situation, and yet also recognize how War and Peace might actually be cathartic or even useful as we look at the aggression in Ukraine. So I'm here for a short video to announce that today is the first day of the War and Peace read-along. Next week, on Monday, I think I'll put up a discussion, possibly with my spouse David, of the first week's reading. The two of us are reading different translations, and you are, of course, free to read whatever you have. In fact, I would be thrilled to have conversations in the comments about how different translators choose to word specific phrases. David has now read the first week's section already, using the Pevear and Volokhonsky translation, which he chose after a long afternoon on the couch together, comparing the different translations we have. David, who is not an absolutely tremendous reading nerd, has been quite pleased at how easy he's finding it to follow what's going on. He hasn't been thrown by the number of characters or some necessity for understanding details in history, at least not yet. I say this to encourage those of you who are not sure you're quite prepared for this book. You almost certainly are. I plan to start the Briggs translation this evening, and I'm looking forward to comparing particular passages in Maude and Dunningham as well. From what we could gather during our afternoon, it seemed to me that Briggs and Maude and even Dunningham have a great deal in common, and the Pevear and Volokhonsky has a more distinct tone in general. To be honest, while there are certainly differences, all four seem highly readable. I don't think you can really make a mistake, although certainly there are people who love one and not another. So let me refer you to the schedule I'm following. This way of dividing up the reading comes straight from Yi Li and her Tolstoy Together 85-day read-along. I've shifted the labeling to be by week rather than by day, and I'm fudging it just slightly when there's a major break in the text where we could end the week. I'll post the plan down in the comments. This week I'll be reading all of Volume 1, Part 1, which we'll talk about next Monday. Then the next week we'll be reading Volume 1, Part 2, and it goes on from there. Okay, as I've said, I'm hoping to post weekly discussions on Mondays about War and Peace, and assuming that our current plumbing fiasco and everything else resolves, to post booktube tags, occasional Poetry Thursdays, and some other bookish content over these 3 months. One morning, David and I have a major event coming up in late May. Our son is graduating from college, so there's a possibility we might not film the last video in the War and Peace series until the next week or something like that. We'll see. Well, that is it for today. Enjoy your reading this week and see you soon here on Hannah's Books.